What is up, everybody? It's BMax Bracketology, and I am back continuing the series of predicting every single college basketball conference tournament winner. Today I'm doing the Big 12. I'm located in Kansas City, Missouri this year. All 16 teams in the conference do get to participate, so I like that a lot. Games tip off Tuesday, March 11th. Championship is Saturday, March 15th. Houston was able to run away with the regular season. I think Texas Tech was maybe 4 games out. So Houston really dominated. Let's just get right into it. It's going to be a longer video because there's 16 teams. So let's get into it. The first matchup, we got the 9-seed TCU versus the 16-seed Colorado. Colorado does a decent job of shooting. That's one thing that I kind of like about this team. But they don't have a lot of star power. Neither does TCU. I do like Noah Reynolds' game. I think he's pretty solid. Colorado just does not take care of the ball very well. An okay shooting team that can't take care of the ball. Don't love that. I think TCU is going to capitalize off that. I'm going to roll with the 9-seed TCU in this one. And then the next matchup, we got the 12-seed Oklahoma State versus the 13-seed Cincinnati. Cincinnati does a pretty good job of shooting the ball, and they have a pretty good shooting defense, so they limit teams to take hard shots, which Oklahoma State's offense is just not very good. They haven't been efficient all year. I think Cincinnati has a big game today. I'm going to roll with the 13-seed Cincinnati to win this one. And then in the next matchup, we got the 10-seed Kansas State versus the 15-seed Arizona State. Arizona State, they don't really rebound the ball very well, which is something that I don't love. They're not very physical. They don't crash the boards, and they give up a decent amount of offensive rebounds. I think Kansas State does a decent job of rebounding. They got better. I wouldn't even say they have better players, but I just don't love this Arizona State team. They haven't been playing good the past couple of weeks. Neither has Kansas State, but I'm going to roll with them, Kansas State in this one. And then in the final first-round matchup, we got the 11-seed Utah versus the 14-seed UCF. UCF, I do like some of the players. Keyshawn Hall is a stud. I like him a lot. And then Utah, on the other hand, they really don't do anything bad, which is why I kind of like this team. I think they're going to rally together after losing their head coach. I really like the fact that they can do that. I'm going to roll with the 11-seed Utah to win this one. And then in the next matchups, we got the 9-seed TCU versus the 8-seed West Virginia. West Virginia, they along with Arizona State, they just don't rebound the ball very well as a whole. But TCU is not a type of team to exploit that weakness. TCU just does not shoot the ball very well. West Virginia has a very, very good defense. I think they're going to shut down TCU, and TCU doesn't play a very good defense either. I think Javon Small is going to have a big game. I'm going to roll with West Virginia to win this one. And then in the next matchup, we got the 13-seed Cincinnati versus the 5-seed Iowa State. Both of these teams have kind of been disappointing this year. After looking at the non-conference schedule, Iowa State was supposed to be a top 14 this year, battling for a 1 seed, looking like maybe a 3 or 4 right now. Cincinnati looking like they were going to be a tournament team, but now they're on the verge of not even making it. I think Cincinnati has a little bit more to play for, but if you've been to Kansas City, this is Hilton South is what they call it. The place is always rocking. I don't see an advantage Cincinnati has. Iowa State has more talent. I'm going to roll with the Cyclones in this one. And then in the next matchup, we got the 10-seed Kansas State versus the 7-seed Baylor. Kansas State, they've kind of been disappointing as well this year. A lot of disappointing teams, and so is Baylor, if I'm keeping it real. You kind of notice that in the Big 12 that some of these teams have played way worse than the preseason expectations they had. Maybe that's just because it's a weaker league this year in general. But, Baylor has too much studs. Kansas State won't be able to keep up with them. Norshad Omier, VJ Edgecombe, Taylor, love those 3. I'm going to roll with the 7-seed Baylor in this one. And then in the final second-round matchup, we got the 6-seed Kansas versus the 11-seed Utah. I really do like this Utah team. I was kind of surprised that they fired Craig Smith. I think he's done a relatively good job for a program that hasn't really been historically good at basketball. But, this Kansas team is just so talented. It's hard to pick against them just because of the talent that they have. Dickinson, Mayo, Harris, Adams. I really like this team. They play very, very good defensively. So if their offense can just heat up, this is a dangerous team. I'm going to roll with the 6-seed Kansas. And then in the quarterfinals, we got the 1-seed Houston versus the 8-seed West Virginia. Kind of touched on West Virginia not being a very good aggressive rebounding team. Not very good on the offensive end, not very good on the defensive end. Houston does both of those really well. I think that's the matchup disparity that West Virginia just does not want to see. Houston brings that to pretty much every team in this conference. They're just so talented. I'm going to roll with the 1-seed Houston in this one. And then in the next matchup, we got the 5 seed Iowa State versus the 4 seed BYU. We got to talk about Richie Saunders. He is just going crazy for BYU. He has been the spark that they've needed all year. After losing Jackson Robinson to Kentucky, he is so freaking good. The one thing about this BYU team that I don't like about them is that their 3-point defense isn't amazing. They kind of give up a lot of looks, and a lot of their teams shoot high percentage off of that. I think Curtis Jones, Gilbert, Motsilovic is going to feed off of that. And once again, Hilton South. I'm going to roll with the 5 seed Iowa State to win this one. And then in the next matchup, we got the 7 seed Baylor versus the 2 seed Texas Tech. I love this Texas Tech team. JT Toppin, Darian Williams, they're so built. Their starting 5 is so freaking good. They're built for March. Baylor just doesn't really have a good advantage on them whatsoever in any aspect of the game. Texas Tech has shown to be the better team all year long. I'm going to roll with Texas Tech to win this one. And then in the 3 versus 6 matchup, we got the Arizona Wildcats versus Kansas Jayhawks. I kind of talked about the disappointment of some of the teams earlier. Kansas has been disappointed. Haven't really talked about them in the round before. Arizona, they got Caleb Love, who is the most on and off player in college basketball. Some days he looks like an All-American. Other days he just looks like just an average Joe. Kansas has a very, very good defense. They make players shoot at a very, very low rate. I think that's going to benefit them very well because Arizona, Caleb Love really relies on them. He shoots a lot, uses them a lot. I think Kansas is going to be able to shut them down. I'm going to roll with the 6 seed Kansas in this one. And then in the semifinals, we got the 1 seed Houston versus the 5 seed Iowa State. Both these teams love to turn teams over. That's what they do. They both love to get on the boards. They're both very, very physical teams. Houston loves to slow down the pace of the game. But the one difference that I see in these teams is just that Iowa State has no clear advantage over Houston. Houston does every little thing better. And that's why I like them. They got shooters on the outside, Cryer, Uzane, Sharp. They're so efficient on the outside. Iowa State is okay at defending the 3-point line. I think that's the difference in this one. Houston's going to win this one. And then the next semifinal matchup, we got the 2 seed Texas Tech versus the 6 seed Kansas. Kansas, it's the game. The games are in Kansas City, so you got to keep that in mind. Texas Tech was able to win on the road against them. I think that was like 2 weeks ago. And once again, I love this Texas Tech team. JT Toppin, McMillan, Williams, Anderson, Hawkins. So good. Walton off the bench brings a very, very good aspect of shooting the ball. Federico, Overton. This team is just so deep. Kansas has been disappointing this year. Kansas funds themselves off very, very good defense. So if they can get hot, this is a team that to watch out for. Reminds me a lot of 2022 North Carolina. A little bit disappointing, but that's who they remind me of. Kansas, if they get hot, this is a team to not look forward to play. But Texas Tech shoots the ball so well. I think that's going to really take over in this one. I'm going to roll with the 2 seed Texas Tech. And then in the championship game, we got the clear 2 best teams in the conference all year. I know I went a little chalky, but I genuinely do think these were the 2 best teams in conference play. So deep, both teams play very, very good defense, but Houston has that aspect of the defense a little bit better. They turn teams over, they play slow. I don't think Texas Tech really loves playing a slow style of pace. I think Houston makes them uncomfortable in this one. I'm going to roll with the 1 seed Houston to win the Big 12 championship. And to get a little more into Houston, they didn't win this conference last year. They joined the Big 12 2 years ago. But they have won the regular season every year that they've been in it. I love the ability that they have. Kelvin Sampson is a very, very good coach. LJ Cryer, the transfer from Baylor, has really, really blossomed. Juwan Roberts, love him on the inside. Emmanuel Sharp, using Arsenal off the bench. Wilson Tugler, one of the best defensive players in the country. Very, very good shot blocker. I love the way that this team is built. They made the NCAA tournament last year, led by Marcus Sasser. Unfortunately, he was injured in the game against Duke. They fell in the Sweet 16, but I think this team has a legit national championship upside. This is a team that nobody wants to play. They make you uncomfortable. They make you turn the ball over, and they have shooters on the outside. They have the inside game. I love this Houston team. I'm rolling with them to win the Big 12 championship. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you hit the like button, and also subscribe to my channel, hit the notification bell, share it with all of your friends who love college basketball. I just like to talk, it's kind of like a podcast vibe, love talking college basketball. Thank you guys so much for watching. BMAX Bracketology out. God bless everyone.